What's up, guys? All you beautiful, gorgeous, filthy fucking animals. It's your boy, your host, Shawn-Jose from Majestic AF. That started from my spirit animal. Let me give you a little background. I was sitting with my tattoo artist, one of the most amazing tattoo artists in the world. His name is Zachary Decker. He tattoos at Long Island Ink. He's actually in Jamaica with his better half, celebrating, dipping and ripping down there. So it started with me sitting there and I wanted to talk about my spirit animal. I was going through a hard time and I was like, you know what? My spirit animal's always been a platypus. Because a lot of people don't know, male platypuses are poisonous. They're weird looking, just like your boy. They ain't the prettiest thing in the world, just like your boy. But they're cute. But they can still kill your ass, just like your boy. So I made this idea about a platypus smoking a cigarette with a majestic ass mullet just like me. So my boy drew it up, and out came Buster Cooch. Buster Cooch then started Majestic AF. It started as a podcast, but then became a movement to help bring and shine a light to mental health issues and bring awareness and prevention of suicides and hopefully to combat the 22 a day veteran suicides and suicides in general. I don't want anyone thinking that this podcast is just here to save veterans. Yes, we focus on that, but this podcast is for everyone, anyone to tell their stories about dark times and share their triumphs through said dark times in hopes that maybe one person sitting at home that feels like they're alone in the world and they don't have anyone that they can relate to that's going through those dark times, to hear a story from one of my guests or me or anyone in general and be like, oh shit, I'm not fucking alone. Maybe life is not that hard and maybe I can get through this because I have people that have proven that they can get through the dark times. Because honestly, I don't want anyone feeling the way I felt the day I felt loneliness. It's a different kind of loneliness when you're around in a room full of people that love you and that you love, but you still feel alone. That's something you can't beat. And a lot of people don't realize that. So, enough with that and me. Let's get into today's episode. I got two guests for you guys. First off, let me get back. Let me do some spring cleaning, as they say in the podcast business. I am sorry for last week. Me and my boy Sergeant Cini, the man, the myth, the legend, we just couldn't get the systems working with each other. But hopefully he was going to fill in tonight for Combat Flags because in the live podcast game, it's very difficult. People think it's easy to just book guests and they're going to show up and they're going to pull off. It doesn't happen that way. Shit happens. It's live. It's 24/7. So Combat Flags is hopefully going to be early next week. So we're going to do like a double header. And Thursday I will have the man, Paul Slater. So hopefully I can get Combat Flags in like Monday or Tuesday. And we'll run it through there. And you'll have 2 episodes next week. And hopefully you have 2 episodes this week. Because we are making up for it. Because we, Majestic as Fuck, is in the Veteran Podcast Awards. Ran by and sponsored by Broken Jarhead. So listen, August 7th is when the voting starts. So you best go out there and vote for, yours truly and this goddamn movement called Majestic as Fuck. So tonight's guests, back to it, are 2 great, amazing people. One is a badass, independent female. Her and her husband started one of the best fucking construction companies the east of Tennessee. I don't know like the southern lingo, so I could be on this side of the Mississippi, but I don't know that shit. I'm a goddamn Yankee down here. You know what I mean? I don't know what side of the Mississippi I'm fucking on. But they're probably listening to me and like, wow, this guy's a weirdo. But they start the best construction company in the East Tennessee. It's called All About Construction, and they are a paid sponsor. Yes, paid sponsor for Majestic as Fuck, which we here at Majestic as Fuck is amazing. I'm pretty sure she's rocking a Majestic AF fucking shirt today. And her buddy sitting next to her is my boy, a man with an amazing story of dark times and triumph, the epitome of majestic as fuck, David Abels. So Lensi Merriman, she's the fucking stud. Her and her husband run a fucking amazing construction company. Good friends of mine. She's an LPN and a junior EMT, and they stepped up. They are huge supporters of Majestic as fuck, and they're gonna tell their stories today. So no further ado, let me bring these gorgeous, gorgeous human beings on. Oh, and don't mind, like, she's got a little one. The little one might run around, jump on. You know, this is Majestic as fuck. It's a family program, kind of, sort of, besides me cursing. So no further ado, let me bring these studs on. I love you all, my Majestic as fuck supporters. Here they are. What up, guys? How you guys
What up,
doing?
John?
Hey.
What's up, dudes? So listen. Okay, so I'm sorry I got away. I fucking ended 6 minutes of this thing I'm gonna drag you through. But so listen, David and Lensi. Lensi, love the shirt. Love the shirt. And I see David's rocking the All About Construction shirt. So Lensi, you and your husband started All About Construction. You guys are huge supporters of Majestic AF, and that means the world to me. You guys, and so you, David, you're always buying the goodies. And honestly, for anyone that knows me and knows my other half, my baby girl, my Athena, David's honestly the second dad. Like, I go out and do things, and I'm like, yo, I call David, yo, can you babysit the baby girl for a little bit? And him and his girlfriend are like, bring her in. They don't care. So these are two amazing people that support Majestic as fuck, and I should start saying AF, Majestic AF, and it means the world to me. You and your husband Lensi have been there, pushed things. You guys are helping me with a lot of the future events I'm having, even talking about building stages.
Yep.
And we're gonna be sponsoring dirt bike track guys together. Zach
Sure.
Krager and his boy Josh, studs. And you're gonna be having your sticker on there too with us, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. By the way, have your daughter's duck
You
leaving
have the
me
ducky.
to bring me luck. So what? So just getting into some questions. So Lensi, so you are an LPN
Right.
and junior EMT, right?
Yep.
So you know, as Majestic as fuck, that we are huge on battling and bringing awareness to suicide and mental health issues. On that front, did you ever have to deal with, like like mental health patients, or like, like get as an ENT, get a call of like a distress situation?
Of course. So working in a ER, it's a level 1 ER in Sevierville. We had a psych ward. So
Right.
therefore we would do holds for suicidal people, period. So but my biggest lead was veterans. It was always the higher percentage. It broke my heart because my family has served. I
Yes.
personally haven't, but my family has. And to see someone go through that was absolutely heartbreaking. It was just, I wanted to sit there and cry with them.
And I know, and I know, like you said, like, of course, we're really good friends, and like you've always supported me from day one, and my friends at any battle buddy I brought and introduced you to. I Do you see anything in the medical field? You know, you always hear me bitch about the VA and stuff. Do you see anything like the government or like the healthcare? I don't know what you'd call it, the hospitals, like not doing as best as they could do. Because I know you
Yeah,
didn't work for the VA, but like you've obviously been in that
right.
situation. So like, what do you think as a whole that the hospital programs and stuff like that could do to better aid these veterans that are coming back home?
So, to better help, even though we're just your front line, we are not your VA officers, we're not the ones that do your claims, we're not even the ones that do your medical coding. I'm just your nurse.
Yes.
We Hospitals base their care on insurance.
Yeah.
Even though the military has TRICARE, is that correct?
Yes. They do.
It is more like a state insurance. It's very low grade. It takes many referrals to get you into the correct doctors you need. It takes months and months and months of appointments to figure out what is going on when you could go to one specialist and have all your answers instead of beating around the bush.
Yeah.
They're failing veterans as they're not treating them the same as they would if you had a private insurance that covered a whole lot more.
See, that's the thing is like, you've dealt with me having to go to my appointments and
Mhm.
like hit or miss, or I don't get in. Definitely with my kidney stuff. Like you've been there, you've given me rides and stuff, and like that's what drives me crazy is you have these doctors and like even the ER. You see my bills, like they charge me when.
TRICARE is supposed to be taking care of
Yes,
you.
yes, exactly. So that's what I feel is difficult. Then you have these veterans that can't pay those fees and can't pay those charge. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have that money. They're not getting those
Right.
funds that they deserve. So it's very difficult. So it's cool to have a nurse that like fucking agrees that like there needs to be a better insurance policy.
All
And
around.
yeah, dude, like because it's very difficult to like. I know you as someone that you have one of the biggest hearts in the world to have to like deal with that, and definitely having family and definitely having me in your life that is a veteran and seeing the struggles. Like you see my eyeglasses appointment is not until like next fucking year, and like I'm blind.
Right.
I'm blind. I can't drive at night. So it's awesome. And so with David, let's get to you real quick. So I know your family is served because I've tried to give you books to see if your dad's read them. You've read one of my favorite books, Can't Hurt Me.
That's right.
And so how is it being someone? Because we'll get into your story in a little bit. How is it being someone to see that veterans aren't getting the care and the help they deserve? Like you like is your stepdad or your dad that is a veteran?
It's my stepdad. He served 20 years with the Air Force. He started the 6 year tour in Germany. At the
Yeah,
very beginning, the Berlin Wall was still up when he went in the Air Force. He went in 1985. And now on your question, like seeing my whole family's filled with veterans. The one that sticks out to me the most, God rest his soul, my great uncle Bobby. He was in Vietnam and had Agent Orange for a long time. So you think of the time when the Vietnam War started and he passed away about 3 years ago. That's about how long he's had it. My
and that
entire life, I've known him. He's been on an oxygen tank. You know,
that's so it's
still
rough.
a loving man though. Worked
Yeah.
hard, did what he could.
So like you definitely saw it as that because like I know from talking to Vietnam vets, like remember they were forgotten. It was called the policing. So
Yeah.
like there were certain VFWs that didn't let. I know that probably definitely did not done here because Tennessee's a huge supporter of veterans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I know there's certain VFWs that wouldn't let Vietnam vets in because technically it's not a foreign war, it's a policing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like to see and talk to veterans I talked to the Vietnam vets, I never saw it like firsthand because like I had besides my two uncles, they served in the Air Force, but they weren't in Vietnam times. I never got to see that like as a Vietnam vet, like going through the Agent Orange struggle and not getting the help that like he really deserved. So did you see that like they were lacking the VA like wasn't helping him as much?
I mean, I just know his whole life his health never got any better. I mean, he always was a hardworking man. My whole family's full of hardworking men.
Yeah,
I've been blessed to raise by him, but he never had any signs of getting better. Every time you see him, he'd be worse and worse and slow. But he was a fighter, man. To have it that long, and
and yeah, 100%.
it's like I don't know too much about his, having to deal with the VA and whatnot. I just know if that's the case, his health should have at least progressed. They kept him alive, I give him that, but that's about it, really.
So you're
Didn't
so
have any life past that oxygen tank.
you have a brother that serves too, if I'm correct.
Yes, I do. Currently in the United States Air Force. He's in the National Guard, but
So shout out to him. Where's he at right now? Is he still local or is he?
yeah, he's local.
That's awesome. That's one of the brothers I haven't met. I met Caleb.
Yeah, his
Brilliant.
National Guard base is up in Knoxville.
So what was it? Your family, the reason why he got in, like.
One of the big reasons, my stepdad, he had a really big influence on our life. He let all of us know he wanted all of us to at least, have good grades to go to college. But if we wasn't going to go to college, take military into consideration. He gave that to every one of us. See, my stepdad, he met my mama when I feel like was really destined to be, because we needed a daddy at that point. And he took on my mom and 4 kids at the same time,
Well,
and there's not a lot of men that will do that nowadays, man.
No. You're right. You're right.
He just led by a great example, and he showed the success he's had, and that military built that mindset that he's got to build for the rest of his family. Work as hard as you can.
So is all his kids you guys? Does he you and
He
his
has
mom?
2 older children besides us.
Okay.
He has 2 older children besides us. His son was still living in the house when we moved in. And he was pretty much an only child because the daughter lived with the mama mostly.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine what it was like for him for 4 kids to just show up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But he led by a great example, and I'm extremely blessed to have that in my life. But he made sure to let us know that the military, if we wanted a good career in life, that is an option.
It's crazy, like, because the reason why I joined, like, my family's very anti-military. Well, my immediate family is very anti-military. Besides my sister, she's all like gun ho. But my dad, my mom is all anti. There's a huge protesting sign outside of my house in Red Hook, New York. Anyone from the sticks knows that. But like, so like I joined because Brendan Grover, shout out to Brendan. He was like my best friend. I was his best friend at his wedding, but he kind of made me do like a bet with them, like a deal with them. Like, I'm going, so you're going. Ended up being
Buddy
same
system.
soon.
Yeah.
No, not even though. Like, this is the weird thing. Like, he went in, he just made me like he actually left like on my birthday. So like he went and he came back and I was like, fuck, I kept the promise to you. I gotta join. So then I joined, and then we ended up same platoon, same squad, pretty badass. And it was fucking awesome. But I had no outside influences. I just knew that, like, yo, I'm not really going anywhere. And the military was pretty badass. And then I ended up like falling in love with being a grunt, because you guys know me, like, I'm cool, like being me and being dirty and shit. So
Yeah, you're doing the dirty work, man. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So now let's get into like your guys' experience with mental health issues and stuff. So Lensi, have you ever had your own struggles with anxiety, depression, etc.?
All of the above.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
from a young age, I've had issues with depression. Was bullied in school. Was the girl that moved a lot and didn't have very long to get to make friends, and then whoops, we gotta move again. We moved every 3 years. We moved from Tennessee to Florida.
Can I ask why was that? Was it like
So my stepdad moves jobs pretty quickly. He's an electrical operations manager. He sends out crews and he's over substations and all that. So of course, better opportunity, better pay, we would move. So we moved from Athens to Florida. Huge change. Never been without, my grandparents, and then we moved down there. And then we moved to Nashville. Was there for 3 years, and then we actually moved back to Athens, Meigs County area, and I've been here ever since.
So which out of all those places, which was the toughest for being bullied in? Like,
Definitely Nashville. Definitely Nashville. Doing sports. That was because they had grown up and played sports for
together.
8 years together. And then here's the new girl coming in that did a main position. I pitched in softball.
Oh, Whoa, hold on. Sorry about that. Keep going.
I came in as a pitcher, so that's a main position. I hate to put it like this, but usually your coach's kids or you got the right last name and you're pitching,
That's right.
catching. So having a new girl come in, I was stepping on toes. So I was the ball to
So
get.
you got picked on a lot. Was it also because like I know of course everyone knows like Nashville's a very ritzy area. Was
Yes.
that also like an aspect of it? Because
So
I know like when I was in high school, I was like the poor kid, so like the poor kids always got picked on and stuff. So
when I went
I
to
don't know how
Lebanon
it
High
is like down
School,
here. Like
Lebanon is a very, like you said, ritzy. It's
you
a.
guys there still?
You there?
You good? You good? You good? You good?
Okay. So Lebanon is a very ritzy place. It's you put your money where your mouth is, and it shows all over. You're either rich or poor in at Lebanon. So I was in the middle, and I didn't have any. I didn't have a lot of friends when I started athletic training.
All right, you're back. We're
Yeah.
skipping a little bit, so just pause real quick. Everyone,
Okay.
we're back. We're back. Is it me skipping or is it you guys?
I think
It's
it's
me.
you.
So yeah, I'm
Yes,
good, bro.
it's the South. Like people have to know. Bye.
You're froze.
So just keep rolling with it. It's okay. Keep rolling with it. They can hear us. It's gonna go to audio anyway. So this. Oh, we're back on. You're moving. I'm
Okay.
moving.
Yep.
Right? Am I moving for
You good,
you?
dog?
So all right. So you telling the story about getting picked on in high school. So where were like you said after baseball, like softball or whatever, that was like one of the toughest times.
Yep.
So it's very tough. I see it here. Did you ever see in Athens or Meigs like the bullying worse or
So
the same?
Um, Meigs County is more of, and this may be awful to say, but it's the truth. Everyone knows it. Meigs County, if you've got the right name, you've got the right spot. Um, so me being not one of those names, again, just moved there my junior year. I moved back to Meigs County my junior year. So half of junior and senior year, I was a loner. I was done. I had all the credits to graduate, but since I moved, I wasn't able to graduate. I was ready to go to nursing school. I had the umph to go there, and it just didn't happen.
So where did you end up going to nurse like to become
I
get
went
your
to TCAT in Athens.
okay.
I started out with just my CNA. Got that, worked in nursing homes. I worked at Brookwood in Decatur when it was that. Now it's Grace.
Okay.
I worked at NHC and Life Care in Athens as a floater. Then,
So So did you like all right, so as a nurse aspect, did you like working with elderly people more or did you like being in the ER?
ER, 110%. It's an adrenaline rush. You're having to make life changing decisions in 10 seconds. You don't have a lot of time when you have a car wreck victim coming in with, internal bleeding or a huge gash across the leg. You don't have time to really think. You need to know what you got to do in that time frame.
So do you believe that you found after being bullied and all that stuff that you found purpose in the medical field? Like
Yes, I wanted to I wanted to help, period. Whether it be elderly, whether it be emergency needs, whether it be a mom, whether it be friends, it was the help factor, period, that I wanted to do. No matter what, customer service. I was a waitress for a little bit. It was helping, period.
so I know David, you're a firefighter and your husband's also a firefighter. So you guys always get back to the community, which I think is a beautiful thing. You guys always, of course, you support Majestic as fuck, which is giving back to the community for veterans. So, was that something that like your for your guys, both your guys' families were doing better? firefighting stuff and
Not
EMTs?
really.
No.
So that was just like, yo, I want to do something that's bigger than me, that I get back to my community kind of thing.
I think it was something we could do all together.
You know,
We went in together, went through the meeting together. You know, I think it was just something me, David, and Tyler could really connect on, having to work as a team.
Awesome.
I mean,
Awesome. So
kind of like with those split second decisions she was talking about in the ER, you have to kind of make those same decisions sometimes on the scene, depending on where you're at and
Yep.
what's going on.
that's awesome. So David, so would you like to tell your story? Because it's an amazing one. You defined some odds and you prospered out of it. So whatever you're willing to fucking talk about, like,
Hey man, where do I begin?
okay, so let's
I
hit
got
it.
a whole book, man. I got a whole book.
Okay, so fucking tell us a little about your journey.
You know what I mean? Well, I'll kind of lead off, you know, how she led off. We kind of have a similar story besides, you know, moving, you know. But, you know, I grew up, I was always picked on as a kid. I was the smallest kid in kindergarten. Like, I was 35 pounds in kindergarten. I was smaller
I
than
was a badass. I was like,
Oh,
fucking.
but hang on, wait. It gets better. Now, they put me on some insure shakes. I get to third grade. I explode like an emergency life raft. Now I'm a fat kid. So everybody picking on me now. you know, I've always dealt with bullies my whole life. And, you know, I didn't really think anything of it. You know, I had a great family. I had a good mom. My dad did provide for us. Unfortunately, he left my life. I mean, he's still alive to this day, but his path with me don't walk no more, man.
Yeah.
You know, he always provided for me, but I always wanted a good relationship with him as a kid. I
Yeah.
always wanted to do stuff with dad. I wanted to work on the truck, wanted to teach me guitar, all this good stuff. But, you know, he normally would push me away, but I would notice he'd give time to the rest of them. Didn't really give, I don't know if it was just because I don't look like him at all. I resemble my mom's side and my Uncle Paul, who's your guest soon, you said, right?
Yes, next
Yeah.
Thursday.
That's right. Okay, but anyway, you know, I always felt like there was something different between me and him. I always wanted something to do with him, but he never did. Ended up walking out of my life around when I was 13 years old. And I was straight A kid all the way up to that point. My grades turned from straight A's to C's, D's, and F's. Wasn't playing. I quit football. You know.
What school was this in? This was Miggs or?
Well, I was actually in middle school at this time. I went to Athens City schools my whole younger days. Right. I get to 7th grade and I have to move to Polk County, which is like 30 miles.
Deliverance, right? Was like filmed there.
Yeah, ding 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 ding.
Bang.
Yeah. Let me tell you, yeah.
Squeal like a piggy.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad out there, man. Like in Chilhowie Middle School, the population there when I was a kid, if I ain't mistaken, was 99.4% white, and the other 0.6% was a set of triplets that were Hispanic. Swear, dude. I swear. The rest of them were white, man.
That's crazy. So
anyway, the bullying when I get to this school got worse. And I've already mentioned my life at home at this point got really bad too. So my grades started slipping. And, you know, and these kids, you know, the name thing, you know, if you're the right name, you don't get in trouble or you get all these extra advantages and whatnot. These kids would pick on me all day long. And when I'd retaliate and try to do something about it or, you know, holler at them, leave me alone, whatever, I'd be getting in trouble. I was in school suspension all year that year, and that's not like me. I
couldn't picture you being a troublemaker. Like,
but I ended up being, man. I started fights in school that year and everything. Yeah, but you know, it just kept getting worse. And I get to high school. Right before I get to high school, my stepdad walks into my life, and you know, when he walks in my life, he always wanted a son that played football. His son never played football. And I heard him talking about it with my mom one day. And I keep in mind, I quit. When my dad left, I didn't want to do it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to play for him. I did it for him originally, but by the end of that season, I wanted to play. I finally found fun with it again. it was something I was missing for a long time because of that hole I needed to avoid with my dad. And I had that all through high school. I was extremely busy through high school. I'd work out right before my football practices after school. I'd go to work after football practice. I'd come home and do homework. I wouldn't be going to bed till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 7 to go to school and do it all over again. My grades were picking back up, had a 3.7 GPA, get out of school, I get to college for a career I think I want to do, but I kind of felt like I was pushed into it, by not just by peers, but some others.
What was that career?
Well, I wanted to originally do electrical engineering. Okay, see, I'm good with numbers. I've always loved the study of it, and there's big money in it if you get the right
Yeah.
place. So
Yeah.
that big money attracted me, man. I get offered a job halfway through school to do, pretty much the same field, and I could get my schooling through them, and I wouldn't have to worry about tuition. So I ended up dropping out of school, and I go to Denso for a while, and I'm working so much. There's one point I worked 96 straight days without a day off at that factory, 12-hour shifts. That's over 3 months of my life gone,
Yeah.
and
And
that's
making
where.
the money is Denzel.
And this is where it starts to get dark. This is where the opiate addiction kicks in, man. Like Percocets, Xanax. I even got up to morphine 30s and Opana 40s every now and then, man. It was bad, So I ended up leaving that job. When I leave that job, coincidentally, I become a trainer for. You ever heard that restaurant Cookout?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah. See, I made really good money with them. I mean, dang good money. I traveled all over the place working for them. I wasn't just one store. But traveling all that way, like I said, working all the way I did at Denso started an opiate addiction. When I got to Cookout, that's when ICE started showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was on that stuff for probably a year and a half, so on and so forth. Towards the end of it, I was staying up for probably 12 to 14 days at a time.
Damn.
No sleep. As soon as I'd fall asleep, I'd just do another bump and I'd be up again. And, I had a lot of family. I watched my phone ring a lot of nights where my mom would try to call me just to see if I'm okay.
Yeah. See if you're alive.
And just the, sheer shame of what I was doing to myself. I didn't even want to talk to my mother. I just watched it ring. I didn't even want her to, I'd rather her just think I'm sleeping or something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I literally, I got all this in my body. And keep in mind, I was straight A kid, great grades, hardworking kid in football and school, work, whatever I'm doing, in a complete 180.
Yeah.
Just.
But that's the thing.
It's like when I got out of school and I started working, I lost a lot of things, that kept me happy. I wasn't able to do a lot of those things. So, and those things is what filled that hole from my past.
Yeah, fill the void.
And
I know as a drug user, like when I did drugs and stuff, like it was like that I would never pick up for my family. And I like up in New York, I did a lot of cocaine and fucking shit like that, dude. Like I was a party animal, more or less.
I mean, I only did that a couple of times. That stuff's expensive.
That's true. That's true.
So it's rough, man. It is. But everything I've been through, like, towards the end, you talk about veterans suicide awareness. I have my own little story, but right at the last time I used meth, man, the last time I was at my absolute worst point, man. Snorted about 4 lines, probably about 12, 13 inches long. Okay. I mean, banged them nonstop. I locked myself in a bathroom, slit my wrists up from wrist to almost elbow. And I sat there and I prayed to God, if this is it, just go ahead and take me now. But if I got a reason to live, you need to show me. I passed out right after I said that, man. I mean, passed out. You don't do that on dope.
Yeah.
You do not do that on dope.
No.
Keep me. I've been up 12, 14 days. You do all that, I'll probably be up for 12, 14 more days without
Yeah.
any more use of it.
Yeah.
Right? So I black out. I wake up about 3 hours later, slunched over, sitting on the bathroom floor up against the wall next to the door. I got blood from my hips to my toes, but my arms are dried shut. Dried shut. The scab's already starting to heal, man, in 3 hours. And I woke up sober. I didn't, and it's like every bit of weight of the world that I had up to that point was finally lifted off of me. I reached out and
Mm-hmm.
I woke up. I shouldn't have.
Yeah, you shouldn't at all.
I shouldn't have at all. I took the rest of my dope and flushed it and called my mama and went back to stay with her for a little bit. And I went to Miracle Lake and cleaned my life up. And now I'm, let's see, 2 years and 3 months sober.
My man. And we're all proud of that, bro. Like, Athena has an amazing fucking other dad in you, and I'm fucking that alone. Like, do you think that it was a sign?
Absolutely, man.
Uh,
It's like, when I went to this place, where I got rehabilitated at, it's a Christian training center. You can have your views on God however you want, you know. It, and I'm gonna view you as a brother, regardless of what you believe, because that's what Christ compels us all to do: is to love each
yeah,
other, no matter what, no matter who you believe. You black, white, yellow, purple, it don't matter.
Minions.
yeah,
But when I went to tour that place, man, besides the founders and the old secretary ladies that work up there in the office, the rest of the people that work there are graduates of the program themselves. And just when you think, when you're at that point, if anybody out there who's listening has been where I was at, you feel like absolutely nobody in this world loves you. Nobody. And you go to this place, and here's all these people who know exactly what you've been through because they've been through it
mhm,
themselves with arms open. I love you, man. Let's fix you. And that place saved my life. It really did. The people in it, too.
Did you have a veteran that graduated with you?
Yes, I did. He graduated the same day as me. His name was Stephen Taylor. He served in the Navy. He served in the Navy for 4 years. If I'm not mistaken. Yep.
See, because a lot of people don't understand,
Captain
like,
Sarge. Yeah.
so a lot of veterans, like, because the VA just gives them whatever pills they want, and like the VA is a huge seller and pimp for big pharma.
It's a Pez
So
dispenser, man.
yeah, dude. So a lot of veterans get hooked on drugs, and then like when the VA cuts them dry of their opiates, they go and find out that heroin's cheaper, and like
Yep.
there's cheaper drugs. So your story is fucking amazing, and that's why I wanted both you guys on here, because both you guys' stories are so what this is about, being able to survive. So with this, because we're gonna be wrapping up in a little bit, what are some advice that each separately would give someone that's losing hope, or someone that's thinks that there's no one out there to help them and they're alone?
Well, there's two pieces of advice I can think of, and this is for both sides of the crowd because there's some people who's depressed and there's some people who ain't. So this is for both of them so everybody can hear me. To those who are depressed, call your mama or call somebody. Call somebody you love dearly. Tell them you need them. The ones you know that who will be there in a heartbeat for you, call them. And those who ain't depressed, you see somebody who is, lend a hand to them. Because anybody who's depressed knows a lot of times you're too afraid to ask.
Yeah.
And just that one person sticking that hand out to pick you up will do a world of wonders. It's happened for me, and I've done it for others. And if everybody carried that on, the world would be a better place, to be honest with you.
Fucking A, boy. And so, Lindsay, what is some advice that you can give to someone that might be feeling alone?
There's always a reason for your trials, your tribulations, and your success. There's always a reason. We didn't touch base on it, but for everyone that is depressed, let me give you a little backstory on what happened to us in very early 2020. Not COVID. That didn't happen. I had my son October 28th, and he was perfect in every way. Every way. Um, we got a very short time with him. We got 10 short weeks. January 9th, we woke up to Cayman not breathing. And unfortunately, within that whole ruckus that morning, about an hour and a half later, we found out that there was nothing that they could do for him. He had been gone for a little while. So there's always a reason. Like David said, whoever you believe in, whatever you believe in, my God is good, and he helped me through that. My phone is always open. Messaging, Facebook, message me on Facebook, call me on Facebook. I don't answer, you keep calling. Always, always, always.
Same here.
There's always a reason for everything. Call somebody. You know, and like David said, if you're not depressed, you know, your life is just A-okay, make sure you're checking on your friends that you haven't heard from in a little bit. Make sure.
Even the ones that are always smiling.
Exactly.
That's why I feel like the happiest, the people that act the happiest are mostly
the saddest.
Bro, that was for a long time. It was.
So, like, because I know, like, I was always a person that was like, oh, I'll make people happy, but I was fucking depressed as fuck. So, another question for you, Lindsay, because you're a fucking amazing entrepreneur. Give some fucking advice for a young female or couple that's trying to fucking get into the business. Like,
so me and Tyler we've talked about it for years. We're celebrating 5 years of marriage, the 29th. And as long as I've known him, he's always said, one day I'll run my own business. And we've ran one before. It was a lawn care service in Knoxville, but it was very small, not very profitable for the area. So when we were financially stable this time around, it was, we're going to take the leap of faith, and we're either going to crash or we're going to soar. We're going to learn how to use our wings. And
you're soaring.
And we're soaring. I have to say, we are doing tenfold better than what I could have ever imagined at this point, being a company for only 4 months now. So,
well, the proof's in the pudding. You guys do amazing fucking work. I'm not gonna tell Tyler, but you're the backbone. You're the one doing the bids. You're the one fucking husband. He does all the labor, but you guys do amazing work. And David, I know you found purpose in the art of butchering.
Oh yeah.
So what advice? What
Represent,
I know,
baby.
I know Uncle Paul was a big influence on getting you into there, but you're a journeyman.
Right.
You travel and butcher.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give a young guy trying to get into like the butchering?
Get into butchering? Oh man, well, let me tell you, it's a dying breed. You'll hear that a lot of the time because most things are automated now. Let me tell you, you can learn this job, go to any town in the country, and find work. Guarantee it. Everybody needs a butcher.
Sure.
Unless you're a town of vegetarians. I don't make no black bean burgers, man. I cut cows, pigs, and chickens.
That's what I like to hear.
But any young man or lady, because there's actually a market manager at one of the stores I work for who is a female. Her name is Hope. That's it. And, you know, I follow this meat cutters page on Facebook. It's called Meat Cutters of the Past and Present of the World. And there's some females that post on there. Their cuts look nice, better than some of the dudes that I see post on there.
Yeah.
See, female pay attention to detail. And if they get good at that job and they got a strong back, oh, yeah, they got it. But anybody looking to do that, Please. It's a dying breed. And there is work out there, and you will find it very quickly. Especially once you learn the trade, because the red carpet got rolled out for me once I figured it out. I promise you. Just
And
remember this. This is a tip from me, the butcher. Okay. No matter what money they pay you, they can never pay you enough money to cut your freaking fingers off. So take your time, okay? Take your time and wear a cutting glove.
always wear a cotton glove.
Always wear the chain mail. Man, at worst, you could take your 10-inch blade across the top of your hand and at worst give yourself a paper cut.
Yeah.
But you look at those knives the wrong way, they'll cut you. They're that sharp.
So a funny story for everyone that definitely knows my fucking better half, my dog. Listen, she gets away. She gets away at times and won't come to her fucking owner, her daddy. But if fucking David appears and says, Athena, that motherfucker go, oh hey, my baby. Like, by the way, no one wants to believe she's a master of escape. The dog should be in a fucking prison fucking escape movie because
Yes.
she figures shit out, dude. Like, if I'm ever getting locked the fuck up or we ever have to go to jail, I want her to come with us because she'll figure it the fuck out.
She'll get us
She'll
free.
she'll bail us out. But thank you guys for fucking stepping up and coming in and fucking being amazing guests and for everything All About Construction does for fucking Majestic as fuck. Thank you and your husband. You guys are amazing. And David, thank you for always being there and supporting Majestic as fuck. And being the other half of my dog. So I'm glad. Look, you guys.
It's a third. Okay.
Yes. Look, you guys killed it. You know, you might have had a little butterflies, but you guys did a fucking dope ass interview, and now you are officially a part of the Majestic as fuck family. You guys already were, and this interview, I'm probably gonna have you guys like later on, and listen to everyone watching. August 7th starts voting.
Vote Majestic AF.
Dude.
We're going somewhere.
Yes, we're the movement, we're the cause. And listen, we're gonna have events coming up.
Yes.
Like we said, we're gonna be sponsoring a fucking dirt track racers.
Yep.
We're gonna have Majestic as fuck. There's a new theme song by my boy Brandon that made it out that will be playing here fucking before every episode when the whole song is done. And he's hopefully gonna be coming down here filming a music video in Tennessee. And dude, he's fucking amazing. I will be playing that stuff soon. He's sending me the whole song and the whole finished product tonight. So it will be fucking being aired. You guys got to check this dude out. I'm going to be posting all his tags. And he is amazing. I want to do a competition. But as they know, he blew the fucking competition before it even came in the goddamn water, out the fucking water. So, Brandon, once I get all your plugs, I will be putting it up here. Zach Krager, you will be fucking racing for fucking Majestic as fuck. And so will your boy. I believe his name is Josh. You'll be racing for Majestic as fuck and All About Construction. And next week I have Uncle Paul and hopefully Combat Flags early in the week. Hopefully tomorrow I can figure it out with my fucking staff sergeant because his story really needs to be told. He will hopefully be tomorrow. And of course, I'm going to do a couple more merch drops. So go out and buy your fucking merch. Helps us support fucking the VFW and athletes or fucking some charity that helps bring awareness and pushes our fucking mission and helping combat the 22 a day veteran suicides because that's 22 too many and everyone knows it.
Amen.
So listen, this is us here from Majestic as fuck. And a great friend's mom told me the other day, if you stare into the abyss long enough, her name is Mrs. Taylor. If you stare into the abyss long enough, you become the abyss, which means the world to me because I was talking to her about friends, good friends, because I was really good friends with her son, Jackson Taylor. and we were talking about friends that passed, and she saw and Rose, like, literally was another mother to all of us. And she told me that not to beat myself up if I stay under the abyss too long, I'm becoming the abyss. And listen, if anyone's seen Never Ending Story, fight the fucking sadness. Don't be like Ajax. We're all in a swamp of sorrow, but you gotta think happy thoughts and keep moving forward. So this is us here. Thank you guys again for being guests. This is here, Majestic as fuck. I'll give you one of those. And as always, we're all trash, no trailer. And stay fucking majestic. Love y'all. Thank you guys
Bye.
again.
See you, Sean.
See ya.